So we've had the first round, straight on to the second round, and some of the big players have come out to play. We'll be talking about the ATP and WTA at Cincinnati, alongside some of the other challenges going on right now, giving our thoughts on the tennis that's going on, and who we think is going to come out on top.
Hi, I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Dennis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Torebko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
We've had, quite an epic start to Cincinnati. We obviously had a lot of those upsets in the first round, and the second round has been just as eventful. I think a good place to start. I was watching countryman Dan Evans. He was up against Milos Raonic, and a bit sad to say, Milos Raonic, he looks like probably one of the dark horses in this competition. And I think, one to watch. That serve just pinging off the racket, and it barely saw it going past him, Dan, today, I think.
He didn't really get a chance to get into the match. Like, Evans is someone who enjoys the rallies. He sort of thrives on sort of his artistic nature to sort of carve out points and winners. But Definitely. He wasn't really given much of the opportunity because, as you were saying, Raonic was serving so well. He was finishing off points like really quickly. And it bodes well for Raonic's chances in the tournament because he does look really strong. And it brings back to our last point we made on the last podcast about how we feel like the big servers have a good chance in this tournament. And it's literally shown that so far, I feel.
Oh, it has, most definitely. I mean, we've seen, Raonic is just a prime example of somebody who's really just on form with their serve. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen his serve really not firing. He's just got such an amazing technique, and just the way that he is able just to... It's just such a short service action. Yeah. He just has it just nailed down, and I don't think Evans really stood a chance, which is just so strange to see. He took out Rublev in such impressive fashion, and then to see him come up against someone like Raonic, but he's there for he was top 3 in the world for a reason. Wimbledon finalist, all the above. I mean,
no, Raonic he's a big boy player. You need to remember that. Like you said, he's a finalist of slams.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's a top player, but he's had a few injuries, hasn't he, of late? So he's probably not reached the peak of his game in the last year or so. But he's going to get back to it, no doubt.
Yeah.
What do you make of his new haircut? He's grown it out, isn't it?
I know. It's an interesting one. Let's say he's got the old bandana on with it, isn't he? It's barely containing that big throw. I feel like that might give him a run for his money if I continue to grow this. It's been 6 months running now, so I'm just keeping it all at the back at the moment. I'm keeping it out of camera sight.
Yeah, maybe with a hair, but not the serve.
Oh yeah,
I've seen your serve is a bit sus.
Oh, mate, if the first serve goes, it's the second serve that's sus. The first serve goes in, mate. Oh, I think it's up there with Raonic's.
Probably the second one's just to get over.
The second one's like Kyrgios's underarm.
Well, talking about underarms, let's go straight into it then. You see Bublik's first serve, come back to tennis, not played for a while. First serve against, who was he playing? Karen Khachanov.
Yeah.
And it was an underarm serve. That's how he started off.
Why not?
He lost that point. He got complete. I think in the match he lost straight in 2 sets.
Yeah.
Karen looks good.
He does indeed. Yeah.
Because that was his first round match. We didn't get to cover that because obviously we've missed a few first round matches because we've had a day off. Have we had a day off? Did we do it yesterday? I forget now.
Yeah, we covered. Yeah, I mean, we've sort of covered Sunday night's ones and, Sunday for us. So it'd be Sunday night for us, Sunday all day.
But not the Sunday day. We've missed out Sunday day. So that's when that happened. There was a few games there, obviously. But it's good, actually, because we've seen quite a few of the big dogs come out and play, and they're doing really good. So you've got the likes of, say, Djokovic is playing in the next half hour or so. We've been waiting for that. We've been delaying the podcast as much as possible, but
I know
we can't wait any longer because we've got work tomorrow. We need to get one out there. So we'll talk about Djokovic on the next podcast, which will maybe be Wednesday, I think now.
Probably,
talking about some of the other big players who have played, I thought Agut is someone who's really impressed me, won in straight sets today against Gasquet, who's been playing a lot of tennis of late.
And I thought he did
Obviously,
well,
he did really well in the UTS championship.
Yeah.
But Agut looks strong. He won the first set was really close. He just had one opportunity, took the chance and won 7-5. And then after that, he followed through with an impressive second set, winning 6-1.
He's one of those players, though, isn't he? Agut? Like, he sort of flies under the radar a bit. People sort of forget he's there. He's always in and around the top 10. Yeah. And he has all of the ability to become one of those front runners in the whole game, I think. But
yeah, he's brilliant.
He just has that. I think he's had a few spells where he's a bit up and down, but if he can put a run together, similar to like Medvedev did last year, he'll be a similar name to Medvedev. I think he can still do it. I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
it'd be interesting to see how. I don't know. He's got a good chance in this tournament. I think if he can perform like he did in that last game, then there's no reason. He's not someone you can sort of rule out at all. But then talking about Medvedev. Obviously, won it last year. Yep. He come back today, played. Wasn't that great, I must admit. I would expect a bit better from him. He won it 6-4, 6-4, I think.
Yeah.
Against who did he play?
Like, wasn't it? It was against Giron, Marcus Giron.
Yeah.
It just was a little bit like he just turned up and just thought, I'll just get it done. And I'm not really... I'm a bit rusty, but I know that I went to push it and when not. And it didn't really seem like his A game was there. It just was he's just a better player than Giron, and he was had enough.
I think that's what it was. And I think he played. He prolonged a lot of the points.
Yeah,
which sort of Giron at the end of it was just going for shots. He like low percentage shots. He should not have gone for. Because there was a lot of times it was like Medvedev is actually really good at this. He's always been good at this. He holds players in juice. Like his mental. Strength is pretty impressive, and I feel like he sort of stifles the opposition quite a bit, like mentally sort of drains them. There's a lot of toing and throwing. He knows when to step up his game and when not to, and what shots to take. Usually he's a bit like a brick wall, isn't it? Like at the net he's just lethal. Like if you lob him, there's a good chance he's going to get back and get it. Yeah, we've seen that so many times. Today there was a few times where there's like a drop shot or a lob and he couldn't really get there, a bit slow. There was one instance where there was a drop shot Marcus Giron played, and it bounced twice, and he's just got his racket. Like it kind of looked like in real time that he got there, but you can see in the replay that he didn't get there. It bounced fast, and the point continued. Marcus Giron did end up winning it, but for some reason Hawkeye didn't pick it up, and I feel like they should. Weird. That's something where that's like an error.
That's like something we're relying on robots.
It's a massive error as well, because imagine that in, say, the final, and someone's going to lose it on something like that, a technical error, then it's huge. So hopefully they can sort that out quickly. It's better to have it now in the early rounds than later on in the tournament, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But overall, Medvedev is through. That's been good. Another one, you got Berrettini. He's played Rusevori, fan favourite of the podcast. We thought maybe there could be a bit of an upset there, but it looks like he's lost that one.
What do you mean?
Is he not?
You're jumping the gun. Like he's broke back and he's 6-5 up in the second set.
You're
now,
joking,
Rusevori, mate.
So no way.
We'll come back to that hopefully later in the podcast.
Let me explain. The reason I said that is because he lost the first set 6-4, didn't he? Then he was down a break.
He was down 5-3, and now he's 6-5 up in the second set. So
let's see what he can do.
But, one I wanted to bring up, which was probably one of the, most epic matches earlier in the day. We had Felix Auger-Aliassime, or whatever his surname. I will learn to pronounce it by the end.
No, that's right. That's correct.
Okay. Against Tennis Sandgren. And, this was an epic match, really. Tennis Sandgren, we've not really seen him in this type of form in any of the exhibitions. He's been a bit passive, really, and just
but he raises his game for the big games. We've seen that now over the last few years. Brilliant player.
Great match though, this one. Two hard hitting players. Felix, I thought once he'd grabbed that first set tiebreak that tennis was just going to sort of die away a little bit and he'd have his way, but tennis in that second set, he just literally just came out all guns blazing, 6-2. There's a bit of a funny thing happened in that second set as well. Like there was like a Rolex time board that was like giving the time of like how long the match has been going on behind him. And it's making this like weird humming and like really like those high pitched whistling noises. And then he had to go and complain. They had spent like about 2 or 3 minutes trying to fix this board. It was going like,
oh, I missed like that completely.
For a long time. And then eventually they got some mechanics or whatever around there, just like cut the wire, just so and it suddenly stopped.
I guess usually if you've got a crowd, maybe you don't hear it so much. But maybe you would if it was that loud.
I think it's just malfunctioning Rolex boards. Right, okay. So, no. Good, maybe they did it on purpose, Rolex. They got a lot of time on that board there, like focused in on Rolex for a little bit. But yeah, not good on their part for having a like not functioning properly time board behind Tennis Sandgren there. But he got the job done and very close, 7-5 in the final set tiebreak. So well done, Tennis Sandgren. Yeah, incredible performance.
And that wasn't the only weird thing in that set or in that match. Sorry.
No.
Did you see Sandgren during one of the rallies on one of the crucial points? I think he had a break point against Felix. He was basically in a really important point. He had to win this point. And during the point, he changed the racket into his other hand.
Ooh.
So instead of playing a backhand, I've never seen this really. I think maybe once or twice. Like it's rare that this ever happens in the match.
Yeah.
During the thing, instead of hitting a backhand, he just literally put it into his other hand and just cushioned it back with his left hand. It was a forehand, played it.
It's good to see because that's actually like an attribute that some other players, they would... I mean, I know that one person...
No, the skill to do that is incredible.
One person that comes to mind...
That is so hard to do. Especially in the heat of a big moment, like on a crucial point as well. To be pulling something like that off is mental.
Yeah, but if you learn from an early age, like because I know that Boris Becker, he learned to play with both hands, like when he was very young. And look at the standard that he was at as a tennis player. And we've even seen there's other players. We've seen there's one player on tour. I saw some crazy video that he only hits forehands. Wasn't it there? It was just I don't know
there's a video.
Yeah, we'll try and find him. Pop it.
But he's not very good though.
No, but it was still bizarre to see a person only hitting forehands throughout a whole match.
Was it an Egyptian guy or something? Is it Egyptian?
Not sure, but it was definitely like a challenger, like that type of event. But yeah, it just goes to show Tennis Sandgren. He showed it in the last Grand Slam. He took Roger Federer all the way to the wire, and he kind of should have won that one. Yeah, not to be taken lightly. And Felix,
I would not want to draw tennis in the next round. He'd probably one of the most feared players you want to play. Yeah, because he's just the way he plays is just there's a lot of grit and determination.
Oh yeah,
he's
for
just
sure.
A quality player all round. His all-round game's incredible. Like he's got so much. He's so versatile.
Well, and he might be playing in the next round, potentially, Novak Djokovic. So that could be an interesting match to see.
Really good match. I'm going to watch that one in full, for sure.
Once we see how Djokovic is really getting on against Berankis, hopefully, I don't know, we get to see what goes on there. Obviously, later on, it'll probably be while we're asleep.
Yeah. But a bit about Felix, anyway. One thing I want to add to it is, I think at times today, he showed, obviously, his raw talent and ability is just one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
But I did see a level of immaturity from him at times with some of the shots he played. There was a lot of times where, you know what he's like. He hits the ball. Every ball he hits hard. He doesn't have much. He needs to kind of show a bit more intelligence in some of his shots because tennis was working him out. He was working him out. And you literally, I've never seen someone stand so far off the baseline. He was just miles off. He was kind of off the camera at times because he just knows if he just pulls away, he's got more time to return it, takes his time, gets the ball, gets it back in, and then either Felix will make a mistake trying to overplay and hit too deep into the lines, or he's able to just sort of stifle him and get on the attack. But Felix needs to mix it up. I'm not talking about just do drop shots and stuff, but he needs to do more of them sort of lighter forehands, which are a bit shorter on the court, but sort of mixes up the play. It's something what you need to be able to utilise. You need to have a lot of shot versatility. You can't afford to keep always hitting it hard because the players will sort of crack onto it and know what to do, and they'll just drop off a bit.
But that's the thing.
Someone like tennis who's really experienced and intelligent, it's sort of you're playing into his hands there. But I'm sure he'll learn from this, and he can progress and change his approach going forwards.
You sort of said that about Tsitsipas as well. He is the type of person who just tries to fight fire with fire all the time. It's just always you just try and hit top spin winners off everything rather than incorporating some slice, different like range of shots. Like it would just benefit him. Like he's such a talented player. You just know with mixing everything up, his game, I think Tsitsipas could be like someone like a future number one player if he had a more like varied game.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned him, because what I want to say is, for me, we've not spoke about the Tsitsipas game, but for me, he's been the best player I've seen at Cincinnati so far. His performance, the way he played, I thought he was really impressive. Yeah, it was a brilliant match, and he played some brilliant tennis. And I think he's so far the most informed player in terms of like the way he's playing.
Well, we've not seen the other two top dogs yet, so
I'm not saying it's going to end up like that. I'm just saying so far, Tsitsipas seems to be the one to beat.
He dispatched Kevin Anderson with ease, so that's why I think he's going to be playing. Well, obviously, we announced another person gone through, John Isner. He's gone through in quite a tough match against John Millman, 7-5 in the final set tiebreak.
It was a bit, I don't know what to say lucky. It wasn't lucky, but it was very, as you know, with a tiebreak, it's a bit 50-50. It was in the balance, that match. There was nothing really to separate them. No. And I'm sure John would agree with
him versus Tsitsipas now, I think he's dealt with one big serve. He's going to deal with him in the same way, to be honest. I don't see it going any differently. Maybe it'll go a little bit closer. Isner's a better server than Anderson, but I see Tsitsipas. He's got that. He's got the reaction speed. I think it's just
one to watch. I think he's got a really good chance. After I was so impressed with him against Anderson, I think he can he can go really deep into this tournament.
Out of the four, he's the one I think will do the best. I don't know why. I just think
previously I said Team, didn't I? If Team was my pick. I know you said Rublev.
I want to apologise personally to Andrei Rublev for ruining his tournament and his whole team, for destroying and cursing them and jinxing their whole entire Cincinnati tournament. So and Jen Brady as well. We'll get onto that. But
and Sophia Kenin. But anyway, before we talk about WTA, let's talk about the one big match we've not spoken about enough, and that's Andy Murray.
It's just finished right now. He's just finished. Andy Murray has just beaten Alexander Zverev.
No way. What score?
It's been 7-5 in the third. And great winner down the line just to finish it off. So, well done to Andy Murray. I mean, that's fantastic news for, not only for Andy Murray, but for British tennis as well. Because obviously we had Evans go out, we had Edmund go out, Norrie go out. Andy Murray, he's back from that injury. He's not had an easy route, but he's still there.
No, to be fair, he looked really good today. I was hats off to him. I know the other day I was a bit saying he was a bit slow against TFO. He looked very rusty, but he looked a lot better today. He looked a lot more bright and positive with his shots. I thought his the way he was reading the game was like the Andy Murray of old. Like his positioning on the court, he's one of the best in the world at it, and he was sort of, what's the word, where you like foregoing where the ball's going to go.
He was anticipating.
His anticipation was second to none today.
Yeah, for sure.
And his shot selection was brilliant. I thought his serving was actually quite good as well, especially at times when he needed it. There was a lot of times he was let down love 30 or even love 40. And he pulled out some good crucial serves at the right time. And that's what you need to do to be winning these tournaments and progressing. You need to be winning most important points.
Oh, yeah, and he's... I bet Zverev saw the draw and he was just thinking, oh, God, cut me a break. I've got in the first time I'm coming back to play tennis, I'm coming up against 14 times Masters champion, 3-time Grand Slam champion Andy Murray, who's coming back from injury. Obviously got an ATP title last year as well, coming back from injury. He's no schmuck, Murray, on court, like on any of these draws. And now we're going to see a Murray Raonic Wimbledon final. And it's going to be the same thing when he won his second Wimbledon title. That was against Raonic. Going to see a little replay of that, but on hard court. going to be harder.
Tough. That's really hard, yeah.
Yeah, really tough. Oh, quick announcement just coming in. Ruusuvuori has just taken the second set against Berrettini. This is crazy. Wow. That's just amazing. I'm sorry, but we just like rate this guy so high. And whilst these matches are going on, whilst we're having to do the podcast, that's just got to be announced. That so impressed to come back.
We knew he was capable, didn't we? We knew he was capable.
7-3 in the
Berrettini was going to be a bit of a big ask, especially when I saw he was down. A break in the second, wasn't looking good at 5-3 down, but he's managed to pull in there. He won it in the tiebreak, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, 7-3 in the tiebreak, but to come back from 5-3 down to go 6-5 up, and then to take the tiebreak just shows this kid.
This set's big for him, though. It's going to be a big ask to be able to keep this level up, because Berrettini will probably raise his game a little bit, but
you would think so. And Martin Fucsovics has just taken the first set against Grigor Dimitrov as well. So there's another two big players playing. Yeah, two big podcast favourites there, grabbing sets against some real top players. So loving that, though. It's great because it's putting these guys more. Fucsovics is already on the map, but Ruusuvuori, this is just the type of performance we wanted to see from him. Really wanted to see him up. This is Berrettini's top 10, so... You've already seen him. He's beat team last year. Berrettini, this is the future for this.
This is a big stage, though, isn't it? This is different. This is an ATP
Masters. This is a Masters 1000.
This is a big game, yeah. This is amazing.
This is Masters 1000 against Berrettini, which is crazy. If he was to win this, he would go through and face Riley Opelka, who, in the battle today of David and Goliath, Riley Opelka 2-0 against Diego Schwartzman. Yeah, so that was a bit... I know, but you predicted it. The big servers, they're just getting themselves through. We got 6'11" versus 5'5". And the big server just got... I do like you said on the last podcast, though, I do like Schwartzman's outfit, though. It's quite a snazzy.
Yeah, it was nice.
Quite a bright one.
I like it as well.
But sad to see Schwartzman go out, though. Yeah, I have to say.
He's a brilliant player, isn't he? Like, his returning's incredible as well. So I thought maybe he did stand a little chance today.
He definitely fought hard, but it was just...
I think Opelka... I didn't get to see the match, to be fair, so I don't want to comment too much, but I think it's evident that I think Opelka was maybe a little bit too much for him.
It was too big. The power of just the shots and the size differential was quite evident in this match. And I think it wouldn't be the case if they'd
It's like what I said, though, because I feel like he played Casper Ruud in the game before. I wanted Schwartzman to win that because I love Schwartzman. But if Casper Ruud would have been able to beat Schwartzman, I feel like he was stood a better chance against Opelka than what Schwartzman would have done.
Yeah, probably. You're probably right. But it's just a big serve, though. Like, he's still not... with these shorter players and their reach and stuff like that, to have a player of that size serving and with the power, you see it was just the forehand speed that he was hitting. He was able to get rackets on it, but it was just pinging off left and right, or it just wasn't getting close enough to the balls. And I don't think that is going to be the case in maybe a few weeks' time or even like a month's time or so. He's going to be... Schwartzman is definitely the type of player who can beat a player like Opelka. I've seen him play well against someone like him, the big servers.
Maybe it just come a bit too soon for him, to be fair.
I think so. I think it's too soon for a lot of players like that. And I think, like you said, big servers...
We've noticed it on the tours, even the WTA as well. It just seems like the level, the quality has not been that impressive. There's like little snippets of like brilliant stuff, but a lot of the time there's a lot of like, sort of lethargic play, unforced errors, bad serving.
I was going to say to you, I think with the big servers and it being like such an integral part of their game, when you have this type of like long break, like that part of their game is so like like they're so like set in stone, really, and they're so well versed in serving that part is like literally like riding a bike. Because look, you've seen me. I know it's a terrible example, but I didn't play tennis for about 7-8 years and then played again. I could still hit a few aces and stuff like that because it's still that motion, the service motion stays with you more than the other shots. I think that type of thing is so ingrained in you when you get a good set. Because I saw Raonic today was just like ridiculous. I
think you've articulated that quite well. That's more or less my thinking behind what I was saying. I just didn't explain it as well as what you did there, but that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think it is. It's just ingrained into you. Like once you've got that amazing serve, I don't think you lose it. And I think that when you come back, you've always got that to fall back on. You've got a sort of a sound service game, and then the rest of it you can just sort of piece together what in between. So I think you'll see players like Raonic, they'll grow as the tournament goes on. They're just getting the other ground shots in.
Well, so far you've got Raonic, Isner, and Opelka as like the big three servers left in. So we'll see how they get on. But anyway, let's move on to the WTA because we've got a bit to talk about there. So this is my overview of the round 2 matches. Really, it seemed that a lot of the underdogs come through and won today. There was a lot of upsets. Obviously, winding back to yesterday now, Kenin went out. That was a big shot. Karolina Pliskova went out. They're the first 2 seeds gone.
Yeah.
And then you had, I think we touched on that. Rybakina went out. That was a bit of a surprise. Have you got more of them up there? I forget all of the ones that went out now. Some of the big ones.
All of the women.
Yeah, some of the big seeds who went out.
Well, Sophia Kenin was the main one, wasn't she? Like Anisimova.
Anisimova, didn't see that happening. Kvitova, did not see that one happening.
Finally, Jo Konta arrives on the scene with a 6-2, 6-0 win over.
Oh, she's been in terrible form playing. Yeah, we was talking about her as like writing her off completely, saying she's not been playing very good tennis, and she's just come here and proved us wrong and beat Flipkens quite easily.
Yeah.
So fair play to Jo Konta. She played some really good tennis. I caught a little bit of it. I saw more like highlights and clips, to be fair, and it looked like she was firing. You know when. She has that ability where if she's playing good, she's like a top 10 player in the world.
Oh, she is.
But that only happens like 1 every 10 games, I feel. 1 every 10 matches, she'll play like a ridiculously good player. The rest of the time, she seems to be just like a bit average. But then she even has in her locker 2 or 3 times out of 10 where she will play completely abysmal and could lose to more or less anyone. So she needs to sort of eradicate that in her game and become a bit more consistent. But this is not really a Jo Konta problem because I feel like you could say this about a lot of women on the tour.
But I think it's like that with the less powerful women players. There's so little to pick between all of them that it's just whoever's better on the day. And I feel that that's why you saw such dominance from Serena. She is such a powerful tennis player. And the only people that are really able to compete with someone like that is someone with skills and power, like who has the sort of that type of game. You don't just get players who are just an all-rounder with just not the... I just don't see someone like Jo Konta taking out somebody who has a real powerful game. That's the problem with that.
This is the chance. This is the chance for someone on the women's tour to step up and be counted and actually make a name for themselves. Yeah. I've always thought that Andreescu is that person who can do that and fill them boots.
Oh, for sure she is.
Unfortunately, she's missed out on this one. She had to pull out, which is very sad for her because this could have been a good opportunity for her and brilliant preparation for the US Open.
Yeah.
But there needs... I'm going to put it out there. I'm going to make a big statement. I think Serena Williams, we've seen her... We'll go straight onto that match. She played Roos today.
Yes.
She's just about come through. I don't know how.
Well,
Roos was serving for the set. I think she was serving for the match, sorry. She was only 2 points away from winning the match.
Yeah.
She then fought back, showed a lot of fight and grit. We've seen Serena do this millions of times over the years and then managed to completely obliterate her in the final set tiebreak, which is fair play to Serena.
7-0.
She's obviously, 7-0. That's what I'm saying, obliteration. But I'm still going to make this statement. Serena Williams, for me, is finished. I don't see her now. Yeah. I'll be honest. I've watched her now. I've seen her game. I don't know if this is more me being disheartened, and that's probably why I'm having such a bit strong stance on it. But for me, I don't see her winning the Slam again, which is so sad. And I can see her winning a few WTA titles maybe, but I just don't think she's able to consecutively win matches to win the tournament right now. She's just not the same player.
Well, you got to remember now that she is obviously a mother and all this type of thing, and she's probably got focus on other things. But how many Grand Slams do you need? I mean, she's got 23, is it? So,
yeah, but mate, I feel like the thing is, you're saying that because you're someone who's never won one. But these people, the ones like I'm talking like Federer, Nadal, Williams, and Djokovic.
I'm forgetting about him.
No, I'm talking about. I mean Djokovic as well. These guys, they thrive. They don't ever feel like, oh, I've got enough Grand Slams, I'm not going to train so. They train still now to this day more than anyone else because they are complete champions and they love winning. The feeling of winning slams just doesn't just go away for them. So that's why for her, I feel like I put her in the same category 100%. So she's someone who's like, that's why I find it really hard to see her playing the way she is. It's just not the same. And it's sad to see because obviously we know how much ability she has, but she's not living up to that ability. It just makes me think maybe it's her time come.
Yeah, but you got to remember
as Serena Williams
she is as well. Like it's not just like
it's not because she's fallen off. I think it's just a case of she's coming to the end of her career.
Yeah, but you got to think like the end of your career is probably for most people when you hit like 35. She's 38 at the moment. She's 39 in the end of next month. That's like it's obscene. You would never see people the age of Federer and Serena playing before this age. And it's just testament to them that they've managed to continue for that amount of time competing at the highest level.
Keeping your body like fit and healthy to be able to do that is ridiculous.
Well, Serena's she's gone through childbirth and she's still doing it. So it's like even more testament to her. And she has even more Grand Slams. It's just crazy to think that you're in this era where there's these players and you've got to think like, is this ever going to happen again?
No, I want to clarify. I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I'm not trying to do it in like saying writing her off and being like personal level. I'm just talking about the tennis purely.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I think she's come to the end of her career now. It's sad to see.
It was going to happen eventually,
but now I've seen it. Like I saw flashes and glimpses where I feel like this is the end of Serena Williams.
Well, I hope she proves you wrong. That's all I say,
mate. So do I. I would be the first to be happy if she was to prove me wrong. But leading on to this, I feel like now is the chance on the WTA tour for someone to step up and be counted and rise and take that spot.
Yeah, for sure.
Show that winning competitive nature and spirit and desire, and someone who's really gonna take the opportunity and fill them boots. It's not easy boots to fill, and a lot of players are probably a bit nervy and they're not quite putting themselves out there to be able to do that. But someone needs to do it because
with
now
the women's game, I think it's always been a bit like that though. Like when you've not had those other like the really dominant players, it's just been a bit of a free for all. You just have like your Barties or your Osakas or your Andreescu's or it's just one of many names that could just step up on one tournament. Pliskova's or your Haleps or your there's so many there that you would think, if you step your game up like one more level, you could probably win like a
Ons Jabeur.
Yeah, all of them have the ability just to go up. You go up one more step, you're then Grand Slam champion.
I want to talk about Ons as well quickly because she beat the young hopeful Leylah Fernandez in a really good match in 3 sets. And that's it. That's a really good result for her.
Definitely.
So it's another one to watch for sure.
One we've not even mentioned. Maria Sakkari. She obviously mentioned her on the last one. You've got to keep her top of the list of everything.
Absolute beast.
Yeah, she's just so powerful. Like you see some of those pictures of her playing, it's just crazy. She's just an absolute beast on the court. And I think I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it anymore. I'm not even going to say it anymore. I'm not going to utter the words I think anyone's going to do well. I'm just scared of jinxing these people in their prime playing well.
Yeah, next podcast Sakkari goes out. We know it.
Well, no, I'm not even saying it, but I just
because we always talk about Sakkari off the podcast.
Yeah, she's playing Serena Williams next. So there you go. This is your time, Serena. Have you still got it, or have you not? Or is Sakkari the new breed? So we'll find out. So that's exciting to see, though. I think. And just as we're talking, look who steps on court.
Oh, yeah, that's what I want to do. Tell me about Osaka quickly. Because she's playing
Osaka.
Right now.
Yeah, Osaka. She just won her first match. It wasn't as convincing as I thought it would be. She lost the first set against Muchova, 7-5 in the tiebreak. But then she came through 6-4, 6-2, a bit more comfortable. Oh, nice. So probably just took a bit while to get back to playing tennis again. But, yeah, she's been... sort of chatting with, I think she's the room next to Tsitsipas in wherever she's staying. Wherever she's staying, yeah. I've noticed she was doing like some sort of story and filming around the corner while he was doing an interview, and he was like waving. Yeah.
The bubble place looks really cool.
Yeah,
the place they're staying, it's like arcades. They've made it as like comfortable as possible. They've even got like a takeout van.
What's that basketball machine that they've been playing? I've seen.
Yeah, they've got that. They've got like a takeout machine. What comes to their thing with different food every day.
Takeaway. I don't know if everyone will be having that.
No, one of their most popular ones was the Cheesecake Factory place.
God, who's been eating that? Who's having cheesecake on that? If I've just gone out, maybe.
No, it's not cheesecake. That's what it's called. The Cheesecake Factory. It's a famous I
was going to say maybe Kenin had a bit too many of those before he went on for that match.
So, what do you make about the news? Hugo Dellien and Pella not allowed to play in Cincinnati or US Open.
Why?
You've not seen it. The physiotherapist tested positive for coronavirus. And because it was in the 14-day sort of like self-isolation period, they've had 4 tests each, and all of them come back negative each time, and they're still unable to play. Ooh. So they've come out really upset. There's also news breaking today that it was a fake positive test, and he actually wasn't, because you can do there's a 7% chance when you're positive. It's not necessarily positive. It turns out that that's what the physiotherapist was. So he wasn't ever even positive for coronavirus. And these 2 guys have missed out on arguably the biggest tournament they've had. Well, it's since coronavirus. Well, definitely the biggest tournament, an opportunity to make some money, to be getting some points, and they're sitting at home, fully fit, raring to go, with a brilliant opportunity.
Well, Pella especially.
Even Dellien, 90th in the world. They're both top 100 players, and it's just really sad that they've not been given the opportunity. But I see both sides of it. At the end of the day, we need to be strict with this coronavirus. Coronavirus is not a joke, and we need to take it seriously.
Well,
but they've had 4 tests each, and it's all negative. So it makes me wonder if that was, say, the like of one of the big players like Djokovic, Nadal, or Federer, and it was the same situation, would they really stop them from playing? I don't think so.
Probably not. But that's just the world we live in, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it right, though, does it?
It doesn't make it right. But if they were to probably say that suddenly none of the big players were playing one of these big tournaments, then I'm sure the French Open would suddenly be moving the French Open again somewhere, or Nadal, Federer, Djokovic, Tsitsipas, all these other players aren't going to play. All right, we'll move it again. They'd probably just shut it down. What's the point? It's all about money for them. That's why they've moved it in the first place.
Yeah,
this is the problem. It's all about money, and it should be about safety rather than money. But we've seen what's happening. But hopefully all of those people are all actually safe, and there's not actually any problems, and all these people are just recovering and become healthy again.
Yeah,
that's all we can hope. Are we going to cover any of these Challenger events?
Yeah, well, I'm glad you said it. Let's talk about the Challengers. So the Challenger, we had a final, the Toddy final. That was Hampton versus Zapata Morales.
Yeah, he picked
we said on the last thing, we thought Hampton was a bit too much for him.
I know.
I think you went for Cinderella, didn't you?
So I jinxed
I almost got you out of that one.
I know, I jinxed him, mate. I have another one that I've picked and he's just gone and failed. But,
no, he had a brilliant tournament.
He did.
We didn't expect him to get to the final, but Hampton was too strong. Really good win for him. So now, so far on the Challenger Tour, we've seen Stan Wawrinka win the first one in Prague, and now in Italy over in Toddy, we've seen
Hampton
win that one.
Yeah,
so fair play. We've also got some other challenges going on at the moment. Prague too, and there's also another one in Italy, I believe. I forget what it's called.
Actually, the name is. I don't know. I'll tell you the actual name of it.
Yeah, it's in Italy, but that's some really good players on there.
Trieste. Is that a good pronunciation?
That would do.
You tell me. Yeah, we had some. Well, do you want to start off? Where are you going to start off? Trieste or Prague?
Well, we'll do a quick one on Prague because I don't have much to say about that one. I prefer to talk about Trieste, to be honest. So
yeah, go on then. Well, in Prague there was. Well, the finalist from the last Prague, he obviously lost to Stan Wawrinka. He's back in action again, which is
Aslan
Karatsev against Enzo Kakard, who's one of your favourites.
Yeah,
and yeah,
wrong surface for him though. He's not a clay court player. Well, he can do both. He's not bad, but I prefer him on hard.
Great match,
yeah. Really good match, really close as well. Enzo looked like he had him at one point, but he sort of fought back and come back and won that one in 3 sets.
Yeah, great match.
What were some of the other notable results in that one?
One that I was sort of picking out before the tournament began, and I thought it was a bit shocking. Sergei Stakovsky, he was an underdog against Ferreira Silva from Portugal, and he actually came through. It was a tough match. Lost first set 6-2. Actually came through 7-4, 7-5, two tie breaks to win it. So well done to Sergei Stakovsky, because you know what a great player he is. And I was just shocked to see that the odds were so much against him, really, in this one. And then another player you rate very highly. It was an all-French affair. We had Hugo Grenier up against is it Andre Rinderneck? Is this how you pronounce it? Or
I don't know. Rinderneck.
Mind your neck. That's what Djokovic is saying.
He's a really good doubles player as well, that Rinderneck guy. And he had a really good season last year, 2019. And he sort of pushed on. And it's a big win for him. We'll see how well he progresses. I think there's a few of the young Czech guys as well playing, right, in this tournament.
Yeah, there is. Didn't do great. We had Forejtek. I don't know if that's the right pronunciation.
Jonas Forejtek.
Forejtek. He was playing against Offner from Austria, but unfortunately,
disappointing he lost that. He was favourite, I feel.
Yeah, unfortunately he went out. But there aren't any other Czech players there listed on the draw today. But
okay. Anyway, onto the other tournament.
Yeah,
the Trieste one. There's some really good players in there. We've got Musetti, we've got Carlos Alcaraz, and they're facing up next, right?
Let me just bring up the draw for you.
I think you told me earlier. You said they're facing.
I said they could meet in the semi-finals.
Oh, they could potentially meet in the semi-finals. I'm jumping the gun a bit.
That's like a game to love fantasy matchup. That one.
Yeah, that's literally our young gen final. Our two favourite clay court players.
And we got like quite an interesting result that happened in that first round though, which was there was a wild card that we had. Is it Francesco Baldi?
Oh, Gigante.
Oh, Filippo Baldi. Sorry, I don't know why I called him Francesco. Yeah. Sorry. And he was up
Gigante.
Against. Yeah, I don't know how tall he is, but Gigante, he managed to beat him 2 sets to love. And now, he's going to set himself up with a match against Juan Pablo Fickovic in the next round, which we know Fickovic, he's a customer on the old clay. He's going to put 2-0 against Lucas Lacko there in the first round. What an amazing result.
I think he's my tip to win it, actually.
Do you think? The whole thing?
It's an underdog pick.
Wow.
Mate, whatever we say never wins anyway, so I might as well just go with Fickovic and just...
I don't know. Well, looking up and down that draw, there's some really interesting matchups there. Hampman's back in there again. We got Velena Martinez, he's in there as well. Marcora, he's in there. it's a really tough match. I'm really looking forward to this next match. But we had Alcaraz Garcia. He knocked out Borg in the first round. And we had Justino against Matteo Viola. And Viola went through as well. So we got Alcaraz versus Viola in the next round, which is a really top matchup. And I think the winner of that could go on to win the whole thing. That's what I'm going to say. I'm not going to pick one.
Alcaraz. I think Alcaraz will beat Viola.
I would be really impressed if Alcaraz could win this tournament, though, because there's some really incredible players. But I would love to see. We could have a Fikovic potential. Well, don't forget Alexei Poprin's in this as well. We're completely ruling him out. He hasn't played yet, but he's beating Quinton Hales in the first round.
Well, he must be favourite for Poprin.
Yeah, he's number one seed. But if he goes, if Musetti can get past him, we could have a potential Musetti-Fikovic, which would be a great one, and then Alcaraz next round. So there's some real top, and they've got Mats Morang in there. He somehow, I don't know what Mina was doing. We had I'm not sure where he's from. Where was Mina from? Is he Argentinian?
Argentina.
Yeah. So Facundo Mina, he, I don't know what he was taking. Didn't have his Weetabix. He was lost 6-0, 6-1. Terrible turnout. That's an L of the day, I think, for Facundo Mina. The terrible
good player
result.
as well. So I'm surprised what he's doing.
Really good. But yeah, he had a Jules Simon moment by the looks of it, and
or a Benoit Paire.
A Benoit Paire moment. Yeah, he thought he was French for one day. But that tournament could be really hotting up and be interesting to see who makes it through the next rounds.
Nice one. I think we'll wrap it up there. We've got Djokovic playing right now. We're not going to talk about that match. Yeah, I've not even looked at it, but I'm going to watch the end of it after this podcast.
Do you want me to tell you the scores in a minute? Scores on the doors just before we wrap
go on.
up?
Why not?
This is going to shock you. Dominic Thiem's 5-2 down to Krajinovic in the first set.
Well, we did see another thing. We could talk about that. Krajinovic come out before the match, and he was like, "I'm super confident for this match against Dominic Thiem." And he was in. I know players do usually say that, but come on. I feel like he was very forceful in his interview before the match, saying how he's quite confident that he's going to win.
I didn't doubt it either, because Krajinovic he's very, very good. He's not one of these just run-of-the-mill players who's just like...
he is good.
He's good on his day. And plus, the other fact is, you picked Thiem to win the tournament, so I know that he's probably going to struggle.
That's a big one.
Yeah. So... And
the thing is, if we pick Djokovic, I could probably pick Nadal to win the French Open and he'll go out first round.
Yeah, well, what can we do, mate? It's just
the GTL curse is alive.
It is. It's alive and kicking. Well,
if the team goes out here, then I think we need to quit, giving predictions for matches
or tournaments. If we ever make a pick, just pick the other person. You'll make a lot of money. Yeah, but we wish all the best to all the players who are playing right now. Martin Fucsovics has just broken Dimitrov. He just come from 3-0 down in the second set. He's now 4-3 up and a break up. So Martin Fucsovics, good luck to him. Good luck to the team. Good luck to Djokovic and all the players playing, Rusevori, everybody. So, and we'll give you an update on the next episode, which will be in a couple of days.
Yeah, Wednesday, I believe. So we'll do that then. Thanks for listening, guys. Let us know what you think about some of the discussions we've had today on the podcast. And we'll see you soon. Like and subscribe.